In this video I will demonstrate some ways how to switch to HEX display mode in Tera Term. I have currently connected my COM35 port to sniff on a wire carrying a binary protocol for this demo, so let's open it and take a look. As you can see and hear, this does not work very well with the default text viewing mode. If you search for it in the documentation, it will tell you can use the key combination Shift plus Escape to toggle between viewing modes. But by default, this does not seem to do anything. To enable it, you have to modify the ini file of Teraterm. Note that in recent versions, this is no longer the one in the program files installation directory, but it is in one of your user folders. The easiest way to get to the correct file is to go to Setup, then Setup Directory, and then right-click on the ini file and select Open File. There you want to search for the string debug and change the corresponding setting to On. Save the file and then reload the ini file by doing Restore Setup in the Setup menu. Pressing Shift Escape will now cycle through showing all characters as HEX, showing nothing, and back to normal text-only mode. So that works, but personally I find this not that user-friendly, since you do not get any feedback about in which mode you are. You can only see it when the data is coming in. I think a much more elegant way is to use macros assigned to hotkeys to set the wanted mode. For that, we need to go back to Setup and Setup Directory. First go to the installation folder of Teraterm and start the program key code. Press the hotkey combinations you want to use to switch to text and to HEX mode. I will use Ctrl+t for text mode, which gives me 1044, and Ctrl+h for HEX mode, which gives me 1059. Now open the keyboard.cnf file and go to the user section at the bottom of it. User hotkeys to start macros are entered in the format name equals hotkey code 2 for starting a macro and then the macro name. So I add the two user hotkeys for the codes I just obtained from the keycode program and call the macros _showText and _showHEX.tll. The underscore prefix is just so that they are on top when sorted alphabetically. Then we still need to create those macro files. They need to be added in the user folder next to the ini file. The only instruction that is really needed in there is the setdbug0 for text mode and the setdbug2 for HEX mode. But I added a little feedback as well with the 1-second status box message. Note that I use the setdlgpos command with the third argument equal to 6 to make the status box appear at a relative position inside the open Teraterm window. This is only available since release 5.4 of Teraterm. Upgrade yours if needed if you want this too. Restart Teraterm to load the new hotkey settings. And now you can directly set Teraterm in the mode you want with the hotkeys you picked earlier, and you get feedback about it. Finally, note that if you just need a file of the communication for later analysis, you can also use the built-in logging tool to log it into binary form. That way also allows to look at the HEX codes with a suitable viewer, but it will still be bleeping all the time, so switching to HEX modes remains useful in my experience. I hope it was useful. Thank you for watching.